Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A covering designed to be worn on a person's body. A covering designed to be worn on a person's body. A covering designed to be worn on a person's body. A covering designed to be worn on a person's body. Provide or cover with a cloak. Something that covers or cloaks like a garment. Fields in a vesture of green. Exhaust or get tired through overuse or great strain or stress. Be dressed in. She was wearing yellow that day. The act of having on your person as a covering or adornment. She bought it for everyday wear. Have on one's person. Go to pieces. Put clothing on one's body. What should I wear today? A covering designed to be worn on a person's body. Deteriorate through use or stress. Last and be usable. Have in one's aspect. Wear an expression of one's attitude or personality. He always wears a smile. Have or show an appearance of. Wear one's hair in a certain way. Impairment resulting from long use. The tires showed uneven wear. A covering designed to be worn on a person's body. Suitable for wear or able to be worn. Wearable evening clothes. Goods, as food or clothing, intended for direct use or consumption. The act of concealing the existence of something by obstructing the view of it. The work of applying something. A natural object that covers or envelops. Under a covering of dust. An artifact that covers something else, usually to protect or shelter or conceal it. The act of protecting something by covering it. Clothing that is worn or carried, but not part of your main clothing. Clothing in general. She was refined in her choice of apparel. Provide with clothes or put clothes on. Align oneself with a group or a way of thinking. Especially fine or decorative clothing. Lay out orderly or logically in a line or as if in a line. An arrangement of areas spaced to give desired directional characteristics. An impressive display. It was a bewildering array of books. An orderly arrangement. An array of troops in battle order. Put on special clothes to appear particularly appealing and attractive. Clothing of a distinctive style or for a particular occasion. Formal attire. Clothing to be worn at a beach. Make or become black. The smoke blackened the ceiling. Popular child actress of the 1930s, born in 1928. Used of conduct or character, deserving or bringing disgrace or shame. Man has written one of his blackest records as a destroyer on the oceanic islands. The quality or state of the achromatic color of least lightness, bearing the least resemblance to white. Extremely dark. A black moonless night. British chemist who identified carbon dioxide and who formulated the concepts of specific heat and latent heat, 1728 to 1799. Stemming from evil characteristics or forces, wicked or dishonorable. Black deeds. Of the face, made black especially as with suffused blood. A face black with fury. Soiled with dirt or soot. With feet black from playing outdoors. Distributed or sold illicitly. The black economy pays no taxes. Total absence of light. In the black of night. Offering little or no hope. The future looked black. Of events, having extremely unfortunate or dire consequences, bringing ruin. A person with African ancestry. Harshly ironic or sinister. Black humor. Being of the achromatic color of maximum darkness, having little or no hue owing to absorption of almost all incident light. Black leather jackets. Black clothing, worn as a sign of mourning. The widow wore black. Board games, the darker pieces. Marked by anger or resentment or hostility. Black looks. Of coffee, without cream or sugar. Of intelligence operations, deliberately misleading. Black propaganda. Of or belonging to a racial group especially of sub-Saharan African origin. A great people, a black people, injected new meaning and dignity into the veins of civilization. Of the color intermediate between green and violet, having a color similar to that of a clear unclouded sky. October's bright blue weather. Morally rigorous and strict. Blue laws. Blue color or pigment, resembling the color of the clear sky in the daytime. He had eyes of bright blue. Causing dejection. A blue day. The sodium salt of amibarbital that is used as a barbiturate, used as a sedative and a hypnotic. Belonging to or characteristic of the nobility or aristocracy. A blue family. Suggestive of sexual impropriety. A blue movie. Filled with melancholy and despondency. Lonely and blue in a strange city. The sky as viewed during daylight. He shot an arrow into the blue. Used to whiten laundry or hair or give it a bluish tinge. Characterized by profanity or cursing. Blue language. Any of numerous small butterflies of the family Lycaenidae. Any organization or party whose uniforms or badges are blue. The Union Army was a vast blue. Blue clothing. She was wearing blue. Turn blue. Used to signify the Union forces in the American Civil War, who wore blue uniforms. A ragged blue line. Lay aside, abandon, or leave for another. The car changed lanes. Cause to change, make different, cause a transformation. The discussion has changed my thinking about the issue. Exchange or replace with another, usually of the same kind or category. He changed his name. An event that occurs when something passes from one state or phase to another. The change was intended to increase sales. Become different in some particular way, without permanently losing one's or its former characteristics or essence. Her mood changes in accordance with the weather. Give to, and receive from, one another. Would you change places with me? Become deeper in tone. His voice began to change when he was 12 years old. Change from one vehicle or transportation line to another. She changed in Chicago on her way to the East Coast. A difference that is usually pleasant. It is a refreshing change to meet a woman mechanic. A different or fresh set of clothes. She brought a change in her overnight bag. A relational difference between states, especially between states before and after some event. He attributed the change to their marriage. A thing that is different. He inspected several changes before selecting one. Change clothes. Put on different clothes. Coins of small denomination regarded collectively. He had a pocketful of change. Money received in return for its equivalent in a larger denomination or a different currency. He got change for a 20 and used it to pay the taxi driver. Remove or replace the coverings of. Father had to learn how to change the baby. The action of changing something. The change of government had no impact on the economy. The balance of money received when the amount you tender is greater than the amount due. I paid with a 20 and pocketed the change. The result of alteration or modification. There were marked changes in the lining of the lungs. Undergo a change. Become different in essence, losing one's or its original nature. She changed completely as she grew older. Ordinary clothing is distinguished from uniforms, work clothes, clerical garb, etc. Ordinary clothing is distinguished from uniforms, work clothes, clerical garb, etc. Ordinary clothing is distinguished from uniforms, work clothes, clerical garb, etc. Clothing in general. He always bought his clothes at the same store. Proceed for an extended period of time. The speech dragged on for 2 hours. To lag or linger behind. But in so many other areas we still are dragging. Suck in or take air. Force into some kind of situation, condition, or course of action. Don't drag me into this business. Draw slowly or heavily. Walk without lifting the feet. A slow inhalation, as of tobacco smoke. He took a drag on his cigarette and expelled the smoke slowly. Search, as the bottom of a body of water, for something valuable or lost. The phenomenon of resistance to motion through a fluid. Clothing that is conventionally worn by the opposite sex, especially women's clothing when worn by a man. He went to the party dressed in drag. Move slowly and as if with great effort. Persuade to come away from something attractive or interesting. He dragged me away from the television set. Pull, as against a resistance. He dragged the big suitcase behind him. Something tedious and boring. Peeling potatoes as a drag. Something that slows or delays progress. Taxation as a drag on the economy. The act of dragging, pulling with force. The drag up the hill exhausted him. Use a computer mouse to move icons on the screen and select commands from a menu. Drag this icon to the lower right-hand corner of the screen. Cultivate, tend, and cut back the growth of. Dress the plants in the garden. Suitable for formal occasions. A full dress uniform. kill and prepare for market or consumption. Dress a turkey. A one-piece garment for a woman, has skirt and bodice. Of an occasion, requiring formal clothes. A dress dinner. Put on clothes. We had to dress quickly. Decorate, food, as with parsley or other ornamental foods. Clothing in general. Fastidious about his dress. Provide with clothes or put clothes on. Parents must feed and dress their child. Arrange in ranks. Dress troops. Dress or groom with elaborate care. She likes to dress when going to the opera. Provide with decoration. Dress the windows. Give a neat appearance to. Dress the horses. Dress in a certain manner. She dresses in the latest Paris fashion. Arrange attractively. Dress my hair for the wedding. Clothing of a distinctive style or for a particular occasion. Battle dress. Apply a bandage or medication to. Dress the victim's wounds. Convert into leather. Dress the tanned skins. Cut down rough-hewn lumber to standard thickness and width. Put a dressing on. Dress the salads. Put a finish on. Dress the surface smooth. Informal terms for clothing. Covering for a person's feet. Clothing worn on a person's feet. Provide with clothes or put clothes on. Clothing of a distinctive style or for a particular occasion. Provide with clothes or put clothes on. An article of clothing. Garments of the finest silk. Make gray. English radiobiologist in whose honor the gray, the SI unit of energy for the absorbed dose of radiation, was named, 1905 to 1965. Clothing that is a gray color. United States botanist who specialized in North American flora and who was an early supporter of Darwin's theories of evolution, 1810 to 1888. Showing characteristics of age, especially having gray or white hair. Used to signify the Confederate forces in the American Civil War, who wore gray uniforms. The SI unit of energy absorbed from ionizing radiation, equal to the absorption of 1 joule of radiation energy by 1 kilogram of matter. 1 gray equals 100 radians. English poet best known for his elegy written in a country churchyard, 1716 to 1771. American navigator who twice circumnavigated the globe and who discovered the Columbia River, 1755 to 1806. A neutral achromatic color midway between white and black. Of an achromatic color of any lightness intermediate between the extremes of white and black. Gray flannel suit. Horse of a light gray or whitish color. Any organization or party whose uniforms or badges are gray. Turn gray. Intermediate in character or position. Make gray. The painter decided to gray the sky. Englishman who as Prime Minister implemented social reforms including the abolition of slavery throughout the British Empire, 1764 to 1845. Queen of England for 9 days in 1553. she was quickly replaced by Mary Tudor and beheaded for treason, 1537 to 1554. Clothing that is a gray color. He was dressed in gray. Showing characteristics of age, especially having gray or white hair. Used to signify the Confederate forces in the American Civil War, who wore gray uniforms. A stalwart gray figure. A neutral achromatic color midway between white and black. Of an achromatic color of any lightness intermediate between the extremes of white and black. The little gray cells. United States writer of Western adventure novels, 1875 to 1939. Horse of a light gray or whitish color. Any organization or party whose uniforms or badges are gray. The Confederate Army was a vast gray. Turn gray. Her hair began to gray. Intermediate in character or position. A gray area between clearly legal and strictly illegal. Clothing for the hands. Clothing for the hands. Clothing for the head.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.